Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mansplaining Mike with the Mansplaining Mike Show, and today we're going to take a look at these tent cities that are going on in Western North Carolina because the government is failing to help these people. They got all the money to go help the Ukrainians, all the money in the world to help the Israelis, but when it comes to our people here at home, they don't get any help. Why is that, guys? Why is it that our country feels the need to help other citizens with our money that we have to pay to be part of this country than to help us out with our tax money? That's what our taxes are supposed to be going for. This is an independent nation. We're not part of the United Kingdom. We're not part of any of that Great Britain stuff. This is America, the greatest country on earth, and we got people that are sleeping in tents because their homes were destroyed. What's going on, guys? Where is our government at? Why is all of our money going to all these foreigners? Thank God Donald Trump got back in, or this probably would be going on for the next 4 years. I guess we got to thank God for all of the small blessings in life. That's what I say anyway. But let's see what this man is going to show us about this tent city in Western North Carolina.
Quickly wanted to come on here and dispel any sort of myths that there are no tents or tent cities in Western North Carolina, and that myself and Sean are trying to create some like hysteria that like no one's in tents, everyone's fine, FEMA's doing its job. It's complete BS. One tent here. I'm in the main road of Swannanoa. You can see tents up over here. Okay, there are tents everywhere in Swannanoa. So if anyone is telling you like there's no tents, FEMA's doing its job, just tell them to drive down the main road in Swannanoa, North Carolina. The main one, okay? You'll see them everywhere. I'm gonna throw up a drone shot later on. I didn't want to get too close, and I'm a little bit away from it. Yeah, it's just down there. I'm a little bit away from it because I don't want to give away their privacy, and I flew a drone really high so you can't tell who anyone is. But I mean, the tents are everywhere. So I don't want to hear this BS from, non-local reporters or anyone who's not here on the ground that there's no tents. There are tents. They are everywhere. These people need help, okay? I'm about to go to Fairview to check out the FEMA camp, which has trailers, and it's nice and heated. It sounds nice because these people right here, yeah, things aren't going so well. So FEMA, it'd be great if you got your ass down here, started handing out some trailers to people in tents. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely unbelievable.
He didn't show up the aerial footage. I'm going to show it to you, though, because I decided to pull this up. I just threw in Tent City, North Carolina on X, and you can see all of these tents. It's definitely not a lie. There's aerial footage of it. Here's more footage of it. You can see all of those tents there. FEMA is telling people that stuff isn't happening. That's the real problem with it all. Not only that, but it's still happening. Like, how long is this supposed to go on? Those hurricanes were a couple months ago, like in September. It's November now. That's 2 months, and they haven't made any progress in housing these people. They don't get hotel vouchers. They give them to the illegals, but they don't give them to the people of Western North Carolina. That's a part of the United States of America. North Carolinians, they're the ones who pay taxes. The illegals, they don't pay no taxes. What are we giving them any type of money for? Or any type of vouchers for hotels or food? They didn't pay into that. We paid into that for our emergency fund. This isn't an emergency fund that's supposed to be funding every problem in the world. It's an emergency fund. And the emergency is that there was a hurricane. That hurricane wiped out people's houses who are paying taxes in this country, who have jobs in this country, who have to go to work to pay their taxes, or else they're not going to be considered productive members of society in this country, and they're making that impossible. They're supposed to sleep in tents. It's November right now. Christmas is around the corner. That means it's winter time if you didn't know. In North Carolina, it snows in North Carolina. They have cold days and they have warm days. It shifts over there. But during those cold days, these people are still going to be in those tents. Where's our government at trying to help them? Kamala Harris is in charge right now. That's who people kept trying to tell me to vote for. I'm glad I didn't listen. Thank God for that. I never listened to that BS, though. I voted for Trump 3 times, thank God. Thanking God I never fell for that nonsense that I should go vote for one of these third parties or one of these sissy parties. Anyway, let's keep looking at what's going on here. Here's another view of Tent City.
We're out in Burnsville right now, laying down some hay for some of these families who lost their homes and are unfortunately living in these tents. Clint over here, as you can see, it is a freaking muddy mess over here. So we're helping them out, getting some of this hay on the ground. Hopefully it'll make it a little more solid for them. We're out in Burnsville right now, laying down.
That's horrible. Where are they supposed to shower? There's no showers in tents. They gotta go shower in the river. It's about to be wintertime. It's freezing. The water is cold. How are these people supposed to cook? How are they supposed to eat? How are they supposed to sleep? All they have is that tent. I mean, you can barbecue outside of the tent or whatever, so I guess food wouldn't be too much of a problem. And the water's cold. You could put some of the food in the water to try to keep it cool. But I mean, it's not right, guys. That's not the American dream. That's not what these people pay taxes for. They pay taxes to this government so that we will be taken care of with our tax dollars. Instead, we got people sleeping outside after a hurricane and a bunch of illegals being put in 5-star hotels and getting free meals off of us. We need to close our border down and send them back home and put these poor ranchers and these good people of North Carolina inside of a hotel room. Why don't they get hotel rooms but these illegals do? That's what I want to know. Why? They didn't pay any taxes. They didn't put any money into FEMA. Why are they getting all the benefits of our taxpayer dollars while people from this country are sleeping on the side of the road in tents?
Yet again, our current administration has pledged $4 billion that we don't have to another country. Meanwhile, me and my buddies are going back and forth to Western North Carolina and handing out thousands of dollars of cold weather gear to people that are living in tents that are in our own country. Just sit there and marinate on it. $4 billion more out the window. Imagine what $4 billion could do to Western North Carolina.
That would solve all of their problems. $4 billion. It's ridiculous, guys. It's not right.
It's gross. It's gross. I'm sorry if you don't believe what I believe, but we have got to get this new administration in the office and on the ground in Western North Carolina. We need big money. Big money. We've raised just me and Sean have raised $111,000 so far in 6 weeks. And we're not even scratching the surface of helping enough people. And we're giving away billions to other countries. Now, I'm all for helping other people in need. But when we got people sitting at our back step that are living in tents that have lost it all, we got to do better. We got to do better. Meanwhile, me and Sean's going to keep on keeping on for the people of Western North Carolina. Government or no government. We love you and thank you for your support. Keep it coming.
And his name on TikTok is 2 Whitetail, but it's like Roman numeral II and then an underscore Whitetail. He seems like a good guy. You guys probably want to follow him. Maybe there's a way to donate so we can actually get stuff on the ground to those people in North Carolina instead of just keeping on paying taxes to a government who doesn't care about it at all. And here's some more visuals of what's going on. You can see what's going on. The FEMA people, they're not sleeping outside in tents.
This is Swannanoa, North Carolina, today. Not the day after the flood, 53 days later. The problem here isn't just the mass destruction. It is the fact that we have whole families living in tents. Not warm tents, but freezing cold tents with babies. These people need help. Western North Carolina needs help.
crazy, guys. It's insane to see all of our money being sent to all of these foreign countries, and the liberals are running around crying we didn't keep voting for them. Who the hell wants to vote for this? You want us to vote so that our citizens of the United States are sleeping with their babies in the freezing cold while we send our money to the Ukraine so that the Ukrainians can be genocided because they don't have a fighting chance? I mean, Russia isn't genociding them like that's what they want to do. They're fighting a war and Ukraine just won't stop. All Russia did was take over land that was voted to be part of Russia again. I haven't even really seen them cross those territories too much. I mean, they probably should, but the Donbass region voted to become part of Russia. But we're trying to impede on what the people of the Ukraine want by supporting the Ukraine to stop them from becoming part of Russia. You see what I'm saying? Then we're really helping out a Nazi brigade. I mean, the reason that Russia had to invade anyway was because people in the Azov battalion were burning alive peaceful protesters who just wanted to become part of Russia again. And that's why Putin had to enter. That's why Putin had to go. It didn't have anything to do with just wanting to genocide people or annex a region or any of that. It really had to do with they were burning people alive. Now we're going to look at some of the differences between liberal people that are crying that Kamala Harris didn't get elected, and then we're going to take a look at the MAGA supporting Trump people so we can take a look and see who the real normal ones are, who seems more realistic in what they're saying and what seems like important issues here in America. Anyway, guys, let's get into it and see what we can find.
I can't believe you voted for Trump. He's a felon. Yeah, well, so is your baby daddy, but you still let him in your Oval Office.
Oh, that's a good one. She burnt whoever she was talking to, didn't she? Anyway, guys, let's see what this next clip is. So there you go. She's talking about, getting how feminist women or liberal women are always trying to get pregnant, and then they get pregnant and they want to murder the baby. And here's one of them. This lady looks like she's about 9 months pregnant. Heavily pregnant woman writes, not yet a human across her belly. So she doesn't think her baby's a human. What did she screw, a dog? I mean, is this some type of cross species breeding or something? If your baby's not a human, what is it? Weirdo. That means you were doing something that's wrong. And here's another liberal guy who sounds like he's completely out of touch with reality, trying to scold people for not voting for Kamala Harris. Let's see what this sissy got to say.
I will still talk to you at work if you ask me a question. I may still laugh at a joke you say that I find funny. I will probably say hi back if I walk by you. But understand this. If you voted for Trump in the 2024 election, you voted against my wife, my daughter, my friends, and
actually we voted for your wife and your daughter so that they would be able to go to the public restroom without being raped by a man in a skirt. So you can thank me later, buddy.
Millions of other Americans in this country. We will probably never be friends. We won't hang out. You will not.
That's okay. I don't want to hang out with you.
Not be part of my circle past what is required by living in the same country. I know you have the right to vote for whoever you want. And I know you have your reasons. I know that when money is tight and you can't afford.
How does he know whether or not we got money? Everybody's money is a little tighter than usual, but what is he talking about?
Or the basic things, it's easy for you to care about nothing else but that. I know that your religion may be everything to you, and that Trump and the GOP and your church told you exactly what you wanted to hear. I know that.
But he wants us to vote for what the devil wants us to hear. He wants us to vote for abortions. He wants us to vote for sex changes. He wants us to vote for the government to be able to take our kids out of the house if we don't want to chop their balls off.
True empathy and compassion for all is something that most people don't do well, through no fault of your own, really. We live in a society that teaches inward, not outward. But I'm going to give you a reality check. I don't care. Millions of people in the trans community are being told that they are mentally ill.
Yeah, thank God. I'm so happy. I hope they understand that they're mentally ill. I hope we can help them out and do something about it. What do you think, guy?
Or mutants, or worse, just because you don't understand how they can be in the wrong body. And honestly, you don't care. We have people right now who align themselves with the party that was made famous in 1930s Germany, that did unspeakable things to millions of people, walking around loudly and proudly and freely in places like Michigan and Ohio. There are millions of women in this country that are afraid to get pregnant, thanks to the laws that were passed because of Donald Trump.
Why would they want to get pregnant? if they didn't want to have the kid. See, this doesn't make any sense. They're not scared to get pregnant. If they wanted to get pregnant, they would get pregnant and have the child. They're scared that they're going to get pregnant with the kid that they don't want because they don't get to know the guy that they're sleeping with. That's really what this fool is saying.
Showed ignorance to who Trump was, what he did, and the real world results of what Trump wants to do in this term. You called people that voted for Kamala Harris horrible things for the last 2 years. And now
I call them sissies, and that's what they are.
Some of you think we'll just go back to the way things were. Things will not, cannot go back to the way they were before Donald Trump came down that escalator.
Why not? He doesn't want cheaper gas prices, cheaper food prices. He doesn't want the world to recover from this tragedy of the last 4 years where our dollar was completely devalued. People were losing their jobs all over the place, and they were trying to put vaccine mandates on us, trying to literally control our body. You know, the women who talk about my body, my choice, they're talking about somebody else's body. They want to murder a body that's growing inside of theirs, but it's not their body. I mean, by the time there's a heartbeat at 4 weeks, it can't possibly be your body. You weren't born with 2 hearts.
In 2015. Can we, in the future, find a way to coexist? As long as you choose hate over love and money over morality, I don't see a way forward there. Whether by voting or potentially not voting at all, you got what you asked for.
Damn right I did. I asked for Donald Trump to be the president again because I wanted cheaper gas prices, cheaper food prices. I wanted my daughter to be safe in her bathroom, and I got everything I asked for, guys. Thank God for that. I also want to stop sending money to foreign countries, so we'll see what happens with that one. I mean, so far people have mixed feelings, mostly because of his cabinet picks. A couple of them were lousy, but guys, just because they're cabinet picks don't mean that's going to be who ends up in the cabinet. They got to get confirmed by the Senate. So just because you don't like some of the picks, that doesn't mean that's who will end up being in that position. And Donald Trump fires people from his cabinet. So just because they get in right now doesn't mean that they're going to stay. So that's why, like the episode I did about the politician or the people who Donald Trump put in his cabinet was so short. I just really didn't want to get into too many deep details about them. I actually probably should have avoided that show until we actually had cabinet picks that were confirmed. But anyway, guys, here's a MAGA mom, or that's what I call her. She was actually an independent voter who decided to vote for Trump in the end. Let's hear why, guys, because she seems a lot more sensible than that soft guy who was talking about how we were taking rights away from people. Because nobody lost any rights. Abortion was never a right. There was a court case that was giving states the ability, or was actually forcing states to allow you to have abortions. Now the states have the ability to decide whether or not you're going to be able to abort kids in that state. And that really comes down to the voters of that state. So, I mean, not only that, the state is a lot more accountable to you and I. So I'd rather the state be in charge of that. I'm not an advocate for abortions anyway. I mean, by 4 weeks, that baby has a heartbeat. So unless you were raped or some victim of incest or something like that, you shouldn't be able to kill the baby. That's murder.
All right, so Biden's speech last night, I have to sleep on it because, wow. First and foremost, the choice in colors, blood red and black, that was weird. And then listening to him trashing a huge portion of his citizens was just unbelievable. It's like being in another time zone, timeline, other planet. I don't know. None of it made any sense. So I've been an independent for the majority of my life, and I'm going to say that I am joining the Make America Great Again movement because the Biden administration is starting to really scare the crap out of me. The only other person I could think of that would have pulled something like this, being that I was born and raised in Europe, is Adolf Hitler. He can stand anyone disagreeing with his party and made sure that anyone that did disagree was going to be shut down. Well, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. Exactly what I'm seeing.
Right, but they call Trump Hitler. Trump wants you to have freedom of speech. How is that Hitler? He doesn't want the government to have control over your body, not the federal government. He left that up to the states to decide whether you can get an abortion or not.
So, Hi, MAGA people.
Hey, how are you? Hey, look, she was beautiful. The other girls we seen were looking crazy. Or the ones we're about to see, if we didn't see enough girls. I guess we really didn't see too many yet, but we will, trust me. So here's crazy Elizabeth Warren coming right after that sensible lady. We'll get to hear how nonsensical this woman is. And she was like one of their higher ups, the Senate. They had her running for president. The radical left really loves her. So let's hear what the radical left really loves.
We're not just talking about people who have different philosophies or different approaches to government. We're not talking about people who, instead of being well qualified, are thinly qualified. We are talking about people who are aggressively, affirmatively disqualified. And we need for everybody in the United States, regardless of who they voted for, Democrat, Republican, voted for one of the third parties, we need for all of them to know the details about these people. Because ultimately, the only check on Trump as he goes out there is either going to be that the Republicans in Congress are going to be willing to stand up and push back, or the American people are going to be willing to stand up and push back.
So I think they were talking about Tulsi Gabbard. That's what it said in the beginning. So they're saying Tulsi Gabbard is unqualified or lowly qualified. She's going up for director of national intelligence, and she served in the military, and she still serves in the military, from as far as I know, the National Guard. So for them to say that she's unqualified as somebody who was a part of our government and who fought for this country, I would say that Elizabeth Warren is probably more unqualified. She came in lying about her race, and if you're going to lie about stuff like that, be an engine, then you probably shouldn't be in our government anymore, because you lied to us to try to get there. You thought that lying about your race and lying to the American people was acceptable, which means that you shouldn't be in that position, and you're unqualified, ma'am. You're so unqualified you couldn't even tell the truth about yourself. I mean, to me, that's unqualified. Now let's hear what Nancy Mace has to say. I think she has a lot more sense than Elizabeth Warren by far.
The radical left is calling me an extremist for being a feminist, fighting to protect the rights of women and girls. If being a feminist makes me an extremist or a bigot or a monster, I am totally here for it, because I'm going to fight like hell for every woman and every little girl across this country to protect you and keep you safe.
But that goofy looking, Gumby looking character a couple videos ago told us that we were voting against women. Well, Nancy Mace looks like a woman to me, and she's pretty too. I think I'd rather side with Nancy Mace than that goofball looking character from a second ago. Here's another Republican, ladies. I'll take what she has to say over all of them as well.
If your uterus has more confirmed kills than my AR, I'm clearly not the problem.
Based! Hey, she's right. If you're out there killing babies through abortion, and you've had more than one, or even one, that's still too many. If you out there aborting babies, something's wrong with you. We need to be more scared of your than we do AR-15s. And I think you know what I was putting in that blank space. So here's some 40-year-old liberal women who happen to be single and no men. That's not surprising. This one right here doesn't even have any children, and they're trying to act like they're happy about that. Like they're supposed to be catchers for us. We don't want you. Neither did anybody else. That's why you don't have any kids. You're 40 years old and you're standing in the middle of the street telling us why you voted for abortions and stuff.
I'm 42. I'm child free. I'm in Massachusetts. No babysitter needed. I'm 41. I have a grown ass child. I live in Massachusetts, and this is the collab you never knew you needed. That you're gonna keep coming back to this holiday season.
Who the hell wants to spend their holiday with two single crazy women who happy about not having kids? Well, the one has a kid. The other one's happy about not having kids and not being a productive member of society. Why the hell would we want to be hanging out with you? Now, this was a right-wing lady. She killed a pedophile who raped her kid. Thank God for women like this. This is more of a MAGA woman compared to those two. So this is way more based than talking about you don't need a babysitter to have intercourse with them women or whatever they're talking about. based. She took that pedophile right on out of there. This was in 1981. That was Marion Backmeyer. And she killed the pedophile who had kidnapped and raped her 7-year-old daughter. Hey, look, she taking up for women more than those two ladies who out there screaming about they want abortion rights and stuff. I think that lady's much more based, or whatever you want to call it, than these other liberal women. I mean, she out there protecting the kids for real. They call protecting the kids to make sure that they can have abortions and not have kids one day after they poison their wombs so much it's useless.
You idiots do realize that Trump can't just go bippity boppity fucking boop and change gas prices. He can't.
No, that's not how it works. You see, how it works is he does executive orders to allow for fracking on federal land and in the ocean. And then when there's more oil, the price of oil comes down. That's just how it works. When you send your oil to OPEC, the oil futures go up, the gas prices come down. That's just how it works. If you didn't know, now you know.
Can't go bippity boppity fucking boop and change grocery prices. Your life is going to get worse, not better.
We had 4 years of Trump and our lives were better, and they got worse under Biden. So we're supposed to believe that it's going to go in reverse now. This guy is delusional.
Thank you, stupid people! You idiots!
And they say that the more intelligent people vote liberal. I don't know who decides our intelligence. I think they have like a test that's set up by the Zionists that's supposed to judge our intelligence, and for some reason the Israelis always have the highest IQ, even though they're not the smartest people, I wouldn't think. Anyway, guys, let's keep going. Here's an insurrection that's happening right now. So when they keep crying about January 6th and stuff, there's insurrections happening now. I wouldn't even call this an insurrection, though. This is more of a peaceful protest against funding of Israel. And I think we need to stop funding them. You just seen them people sleeping outside in tents. We don't got money to give to Israel. Yeah, it looks like the police are breaking them up. I mean, I don't see why you should be able to protest against where your taxpayer dollars are going to. That's a fundamental right in this country, is to be able to stand up for what you believe in, and that First Amendment right that the Democrats are trying so hard to take away, and you can see it happening right there. They have every right to be complaining that their tax dollars are funding a genocide and that it's all going to Israel so that they can kill women and children in Palestine. I mean, that's a good reason to complain. I don't think of that as on the left or the right. I mean, that's just good common sense and something that we shouldn't be funding as other countries. I just threw that in because it was important news. I mean, they're fighting against a genocide and we're about to be in World War III. So I think that's a good thing. We still got the Russia-Ukraine thing going on. And then North Korea is talking about attacking South Korea now. I mean, the world is really falling apart under Joe Biden's presidency. I mean, if you want to compare the Democrats to the Republicans and you want to say which is the worser of the two, you would have to say the Democrats, because they're the ones who want to fund all of these wars, and they've been doing it for the last 4 years. Everybody's tired of these wars. Everybody's tired of sending our money to these countries when we have our own problems here, like the open border, people sleeping outside. Here's another little sissy liberal crying his eyes out like a little sissy. Probably will never have a wife, because I don't think any woman will take a man like this serious. But I don't know. I'm not a woman.
It was not a free and fair election when one of the world's largest social media platforms, X, was manipulated and used as an overwhelming source of lies and
manipulate it as to say, hey, you guys got to stop censoring speech, and Elon Musk bought it and started letting people talk more freely. That's called manipulation. I think it was more manipulation when the liberals were using their governmental power to try to influence Twitter to censor your speech because you didn't agree with their vaccines or something like that, and they called it misinformation. But at the end of the day, that vaccine didn't vaccinate anybody, so the only people spitting misinformation was the liberals.
Misinformation to support Trump. 2, when a monumental amount of untraceable dark money was funneled into this election, including to run ads that pretended to be from Kamala, but really were hyper-targeted and designed to drive Muslims, Jews, liberals, and black Americans away from her. 3, when Republicans take an ungodly number of eligible voters off the voter rolls in state after
Nobody eligible to vote was taken off of any voter rolls. In fact, there's still voter rolls full of dead people. And that's how we think Joe Biden won the 2020 election. So I don't know what this moron talking about.
state. 4, when Trump lied incessantly and was rarely checked by those that interviewed him. 5, when Russia and other bad actors specifically targeted this election to support Trump, and the social media companies have been prohibited and or inhibited from doing anything about it. 6, when oil and gas companies, crypto bros, and who knows who else were effectively bribed to support Trump. And 7,
nobody was bribed to support Trump. Just the world was working better under Donald Trump. People realized that they don't want to pay these high prices for their groceries. They don't want to pay high prices for their gas, and they don't want their kids to be shipped off to Israel to go die. I mean, that seems pretty normal to me. Or the Ukraine, or the North Korea, South Korea, none of that. People just want to live. We don't want all these wars that happened as soon as the Democrats got put into office. But these morons are too stupid to understand that. And all you stupid climate people, when you're worried about the climate, why aren't you worried about these bombs that are going off? Or the fact that we blew up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline and completely trashed the ocean? You guys keep talking about you're worried about the environment. Well, wars are doing more to the environment than these planes that are flying locally to get you to Florida or California so you can see your family. It's definitely polluting more than my Ford F-150 I keep seeing liberals cry about all the time. I mean, just think about it. You guys keep crying about things that aren't really causing the pollution problem if that's what you believe in. I don't really believe that carbon is going to destroy the atmosphere because it never destroyed it before. In fact, carbon always made the atmosphere flourish. Anyway, guys, let's keep listening to this loser cry a little bit more. I mean, it is entertaining to hear these liberal tears.
7, when many voters were intimidated from going to the ballot box for fear of violence. This was not a free and fair election. Donald Trump, the Republican Party, and the right-wing media ecosystem lied. They cheated, and they seemed to collude with foreign powers. And now the freaking narrative is that Democrats are the problem as opposed to all of these tactics, which are certainly immoral, but should be absolutely illegal. It's fucking absurd.
So free speech should be illegal. Elon Musk should censor everybody who likes Donald Trump, and that wouldn't be considered election interference to silence your voices, to silence my voice because I like to vote for Trump, or to silence your voice because you voted for Trump. These people are insane. Nothing they say makes any sense. These people really need to be inside of mental institutions, and I feel sorry for the guy. I feel sorry for him. He might need some testosterone replacement or something like that, because crying on X, it's not a good look. You guys shouldn't come on the phone, hold it up to your face, and start crying into it, because this stuff is forever. So 30 years from now, when his kids want to know how he acted, if he have any kids, he might not. I mean, low testosterone and all. They might see this and be like, look, my dad was a grown man crying like a little girl, and just be embarrassed. I know I would be. Imagine being in high school and one of your friends came across your dad crying because Kamala Harris didn't win. Oh man, you're finna be the laugh of the town. This guy here, he wasn't even a real Trump supporter or a Republican or any of that. He was an independent too, just like the other two that we heard from that said that they were independents. So let's see why this independent decided to vote for Trump.
I really wasn't going to vote this year. I've had so many thoughts over the last couple of years about how the political system is pitting us against each other, and we're constantly battling over so many subjects. And it's never ending, honestly. But I realized recently that I don't want to deal with another 4 years under a Democratic leader. And I don't really want to go into so much explanation of why I don't want Kamala, because I think it's pretty obvious when you compare 2016 to 2020 and then this last administration, it's completely night and day. And if it isn't obvious to you why someone would want to vote for Trump instead of Kamala, I mean, look at the state of this world. Look at the state of this country. It has been absolutely a disaster since Biden came into office, and it just keeps getting worse and worse by the day. And honestly, I'm a little desensitized now because every day I see something where I'm like, damn, like that's normal now, I guess. When that shouldn't actually be normal. So I'm going to vote for Trump again because I want to be comfortable. I want Americans to be comfortable. And in turn, when America is in a comfortable state of being, the world is in a comfortable state of being. Let's be real here. And you may not agree with that, and that's okay. You are more than welcome. And I invite you to form your own opinion, vote for whoever you want to. We live in a free country. But at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. And I have come to the realization that we are going to be better off under Trump administration.
And that's facts. I'm glad that he realized that. He really didn't strike me as a Trump voter when I first saw it. I said, man, this might be funny. It might be some more liberal tears. But I clicked on it and I listened to what he had to say, and he had a lot of good stuff to say, guys. That's why I threw that in there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the liberal tears. I hope you enjoyed comparing it to regular people who voted for Trump so that we can see that we're definitely the more regular people, for sure. There's no question. And if anybody on the left ended up tuning in, or you share this with anybody on the left and you guys are watching this right now, look at how they act and compare the two. Do you really want to look like a soft individual or a soft male if you're one of the dudes for Kamala or whatever it was, white dudes for Kamala? Anyway, guys, this was the Mansplaining Mike show. I'm Mansplaining Mike. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with some sissy liberal who'll cry about it for the next month, or maybe even leave a comment in the comment section for me telling me how horrible of an individual I am. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.